Hey, wonderful people. My name is Benedette. Welcome back. And in this month of April, God is doing good things. God is doing great things. Matter of fact, new things. And if you're sitting there and thinking, my life doesn't seem like there's anything new or major going on, well, I think this word is for you. And as always, even if the word is for you or not, let's just have a habit of taking it at the feet of Jesus because he's the one who's going to confirm all things. Or maybe he's already told you and this will just come as a confirmation. Okay, so I'll just go straight into the dream that I had. So I had a dream that I'd woken up and I was just preparing myself to go to work. And I was supposed to be at work by 9 a.m. So I was just caught up doing things around the house. I didn't realize that I was running out of time. So when I was taking a shower, my sister came and told me that you need to hurry up because you're running out of time, you're getting late. And she actually showed me the watch, and the watch was indicating it's 8:28 a.m. So I immediately panicked, but I just started showering very fast and I hurriedly left the house for work. So by the time I'm reaching work, I'm finding there are people outside. Like the watchman was given orders not to let anyone in until it's 9 a.m. So here I was thinking that I was getting late, and when I'm reaching the workplace, people are outside the premises and everyone is waiting because it's only at 9 a.m. when the doors will be opened. So basically, I wasn't even late as much as I arrived like some minutes to 9. So whether you came in at 8:30 or 8:40 or even 8:15, we were all going to go in at 9 a.m. Now, I'm a customer care agent. I'm in a contact center. And being in a contact center means if you're supposed to be at work by 9, it means 9:00 you should be logging in, ready to receive calls. So I'm thinking by the time they open the gates at 9 a.m., I go at my workstation, open my computer, I'll still be able to log in late. Because between that time where you're doing all these things, it's already past 9. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm already late. It is what it is. So I go find my workstation, open my computer, and when I check my schedule, actually I've been scheduled for training. So meaning I don't need to log in. So being scheduled for training, it means I don't need to log in, and my schedule is kind of different that day. So there's nothing that will be used to measure whether I logged in late or not because there isn't. I was on training. And that's how the dream ends. And when I woke up in the morning, the verse that came into my head was Romans 8:28. That's pretty much what came into my head when I thought of the 8:28 time. But I know that verse and it wasn't making sense at that time, and I was like, oh, okay, fine. And also in that dream, what came out is how I thought things were moving, but they weren't. So in my head, I thought I'm already late. But when I reached my workplace, I actually wasn't late. So I thought I'm going to still log in late. And I reached my workplace. The process has changed. I don't need to log in. Instead, I need to log in a different forum that doesn't require me to log in 9:00 on the dot. And that's pretty much what God is saying. He's turning things around. He's turning things around for your own good. And that's also what came out when I was just praying and seeking the Lord about 8:28, because I don't really get numbers whenever I pray or in my dreams. So that 8:28, I knew it had a significance. And I just knew it was linked to a Bible verse. As much as Romans 8:28 came into my mind, I just never gave it any significance because at that time I wasn't seeing how the dream and the verse was linking up. But as I was praying and just seeking the Lord, he still took me to Romans 8:28. And I'm just gonna read it if you allow me. So Romans 8:28 says, "We know that all things work for good for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose." And God had me even underline all. And he was just pointing out at All things. The Bible says all things. The good things, the bad things, all things work together for good. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, my situation is in a mess right now, I don't think anything good can come out, that is where God steps in. That is where God steps in. God turns every single thing around. And even I was just going through the internet and I just came up this explanation of a salt. This person was explaining salt. We all know salt. It's used in our foods for giving it taste and seasoning and whatnot. And salt by itself, salt is made up of sodium and chloride. And if you put those things, if you separate those two things, they are chemicals and they are dangerous and they are harmful. But when you put them together, these bad things, when you put them together, you come up with salt, which is good for your food, you see? And that's pretty much what God is doing. He's bringing up all these bad things together for your own good, so that you can be able to rejoice and be glad in these great and glorious things that He's doing. So that's what also God showed me. And also, as I was praying, God took me to the parable of the lost son. We all know that parable of the son who asked for half of his inheritance. And let me just adjust myself, my heart. Whew. So when the son asked for half of his inheritance, and he went and partied and used up all the money, and finally he was like, let me just go home. And he was like, let me just go home. I'm here, and I'm not in a place where I can even sustain myself. Well, just a mere servant in my father's house is having a good life. He's having food to eat, and I'm here. I'm not even able to eat the food that the pigs are eating. It means that I'm in a very, very bad situation. So this son was thinking, let me go home, beg for forgiveness, and ask just to be a servant. You know, I don't even deserve to be called his son because he had already given me what was mine. But let me just ask for a place so that I can be just a servant, you know. And there's a turnaround. So just allow me to read Luke 15 from 21. And in your free time, you can just read the whole thing so that you can better understand. So Luke 15 from 21, it says, his son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son. So verse 22 says, but his father ordered his servants, quickly bring the finest robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Take the fattened calf and slaughter it. Then let us celebrate with a feast. And also God was just pointing it out, how that's also a turnaround. If you are in that person's shoes, not even in that person's shoes, if we just look at it from that story's point of view, this person never thought that there's going to be a feast when he comes back home. You know, he never thought all these things are going to be done for him. His thought was like, let me just beg for forgiveness. Whatever thing they decide to give me, it is well, as long as I have a place to sleep and I have something to eat. But what does he get in return? He gets the finest robe. The fattened calf was slaughtered. A feast was done for him. And that is what God is doing exactly in this time, in this season. He's going to do a feast for you. He's going to turn that situation around. That situation which you're thinking it has reached a dead end, He's going to turn it around for your own good. It's just that season where God is doing great things, and it needs you to have that leap of faith as little as a mustard seed, and you can just see how God is moving. And the great thing about this season is that it doesn't even require your faith, because it's something God has already approved, and it's going to move. There's going to be a major shift, and it's going to move, and they're going to be turned around, that his children are going to rejoice and be glad at all these things God is doing. So I hope this word blesses you and reaches the person whom it intended to. And until we meet again, that's goodbye from me. Be blessed and stay blessed.